Hey all, Heretic here. Today, let's talk anomalies in the Battlegrounds. Now, every Tuesday for the last many weeks, I have covered all the new anomalies coming out. We've played thousands of games together, and I think it's time to rank them based on overall quality and enjoyment. Now, this is going to be my list based on my games. I've played a lot. These are my opinions. There's going to be some things you agree with and disagree with. Let's see how different we feel about these many different anomalies and our experiences with them. First, let's start with Fair Reward. This is going to be where every time you triple, you will get a Dark Moon Fair Reward instead of a triple reward. And it's very different from where it was. I think initially it was fun in that original format, and then everybody started doing the same damn thing, staying on tier 1. I think where it is now is actually pretty good, and this is pretty fun. I think this is a little better than your average anomaly because anomalies are at their base supposed to make the same gameplay a little different. And I feel like this does that, but it does it to a degree better than most anomalies. So what I have to say is this is a solid A to me. I'm starting right off on a good one. I liked a Fair Reward. Anomalous Bribe. This is where you sell a minion and it gives its stats to the shop, allowing you to basically build uber minions, cycling and going completely bonkers, filling up the shop with a bunch of stats. Anomalous Bribe, well, it wasn't groundbreaking in what it did, I felt like was an example of what anomalies should be: alternative gameplay to the mode we love. Solid B. Anomalous Twin, kinda not super exciting. Let's look at this one. What do you get? Well, it takes your highest health minion and gives you an extra one of it. I don't even think it qualifies as really interesting divergence in gameplay. It's just kind of boring. So for me, this is a C. It's not bad, but it's also not good either. Anomalous Wisdomball. This is on turn 6. Every time you hit refresh, you might get a helpful refresh. So you never know what you're going to get. It's Khadgar. Sometimes it's gold minions. Sometimes it's random minions. Sometimes it's a bunch of tier 6 minions. I feel like Anomalous Wisdomball is kind of one of the highlights of it to me. I love the random nature. Yeah, sometimes you'd roll a turn away and the Khadgar wouldn't activate once. Other times, every single time you'd roll, he'd be like, here's a gold minion, here's a gold minion. I just enjoyed that random fun. Anti-Gravity Stadium. So this is the one where the health in the attack of the minions is swapped in the shop. My problem is, while I have played thousands of games, I never got this one. And it looks and sounds very boring. See, I know I can't really give it a fair ruling, but I just don't care about this one. It is boring. Audience choice. So this is the one where at the beginning of turn 1, someone in the lobby, it's random who, would get to pick a card, and then everyone would get that card on turn 2. And every turn this would continue to happen. I like this one a whole lot. I like the fact that, yeah, you might get a micromon. And then you might also get a tier 7 card like Champion of Sargeras on turn 2. That's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And because everyone gets the same thing, it balances itself out to an extent. Obviously, there's going to be more synergy with some things, but I feel like this one was done really well. This is a solid S to me, folks. This is one I love to play. Big League. This is where Tavern tier 3, 4, 5, and 6 exist. I love this one. And the reason why I like it is it's different gameplay because you're starting on tier 3, obviously, but at the same time, the shop isn't full of garbage. So if you get any discovery, you're only finding good minions because tier 1 and 2 are gone. Those minions that are the most common are removed from the pool. And I know some people didn't like this one, but for me, this is a solid A. I really enjoyed Big League. I thought it was fun. Blessed or Blighted. This is where your leftmost minion gets Divine Shield and your rightmost one gets Reborn. I felt like this one was a good standard for anomalies. Everybody got the same abilities. Everybody knew right off the bat on turn 1 what would work better in their lobby versus what would work pretty crappy if you decide to take it and put them in the wrong positions. I feel like this is good, solid gameplay, and this is what anomalies are kind of wanting to shoot for. Solid B. Blood of Sargeras. This is where everyone starts on 12 health. This makes the game fast. If you get bad shops or you don't get a tempo hero, you die really quick. I feel like anomalies like this are exactly what the game never needed, and if they ever come back, please just delete this one. Bring home the bacon. This is where everyone gets 2 piggy banks that you get to break for gold that continue to upgrade every turn. I thought this one was a lot of fun. It really promoted some different play. Once again, though, and not really good, just kind of exactly what anomalies needed to be. Bring in the buddies. Buddies are in the tavern. So the tavern has all the minions it usually has, and it has all the buddies. So I liked this one. I thought it was interesting. I felt it was good, but I felt so bad for people who didn't play in the buddy meta, who then had to, every time they hit refresh or had a turn start, go, what's in the shop? And try to figure out what all these cards did. I enjoyed it for the most part, where I want to put it for a B, but I know so many people hated this and didn't enjoy the experience, especially if you were a mobile player and didn't know what they did. Oh my, I mean, I have played thousands of games, but if you've only played hundreds of games or dozens of games, and you're seeing this many different minions in the shop, I feel like it's a bad experience for you. And everybody who was in my chat and who I talked to, that was kind of their opinion, who were not really avid players. I have to put this one as a C because of that. I'd put it as a B myself as someone with a lot of experience, but I think for the average person who doesn't play a ton, it's probably not that great. Curse of Aggramar. This is where we all start at 5 health and you can't take more than 1 damage at a time. D, delete this. Never put it back in the game, please, Blizzard. It was garbage. I don't want anything where I can die on turn 5 because I got bad shops or no tempo heroes offered to me. This one just promotes me to want to concede. Deep Blue. Deep Blue Sooner was the one where you got 2 Deep Blue spells every turn. My issue with this was it is now in a decent place, but it wasn't for the entirety of its time out. And it was really painful when it was super common because demons were in and people would just eat the shop over and over and over again. And it was frustrating if you didn't find those demons, and then amazing when you did find those demons. So I really think this anomaly is in a decent place now, but it was so badly executed in the front end. This is where they need to actually test things. And there's no way they don't test enough on the stuff they usually put out. There's no way they had tested all these anomalies the way they needed to. And they kind of just put them out for us to test, which is fine. There's a lot coming out. I'm fine with that, but it took them too long to fix this one. And I don't think I'll ever recover from it. C. It's not D, because it's not bad, but it's certainly not good either. Denathrius's Anima Reserve. This is one where everybody is Denathrious. Initially, when it came out, you only got your turn 1 quest, and then later they changed it to where you got quests on turn 1 and turn 4. I felt like this one was very bad in the beginning, and luckily I only played it like once, but I've played it many times since, and I feel like it's a good solid one right now. This is kind of what anomalies should go for. I like this one a lot. Double header. This is where the first minion you buy every turn you get 2 copies of. Once again, another solid B. This is what anomalies should shoot for. Please give us more things like this if they ever come back. This is a good one. Echoes of Argus. So Echoes of Argus, I've played thousands of games, right? I saw this one once, and recently, only once. I feel like if Murlocs are in, you're a very happy camper. And if not, you're just trying to get lucky and see what you can find. But if Murlocs are in and you don't find many Murlocs and your opponents do, you're getting destroyed in this anomaly. I'm gonna give it a B. I didn't play it enough really to rate it beyond that. But Echoes of Argus is very polarizing. I feel like they could have banned Murlocs from this one and probably been a little better off. 11th Hour. This is where with the turn you die, they prevent that damage once, so it doesn't happen twice, and then you get 11 gold. I like this one. Once again, I felt like it promoted you to be a little greedy, but everybody had the same potential for greed. So I really feel like the 11th Hour is a solid B. This is kind of where anomalies need to be. Eonar's Overgrown Arena. This is where the shop gets +1/+1 every turn progressively. I felt like if you were playing mechs or demons, this was fun. And if you were anything else, you were kind of sad and bored. It was too predictable and it wasn't that interesting. For me, this is a C. While it may not be wildly divergent and it may be, it's just boring. It's just not enough to justify it. I almost rather play vanilla Battlegrounds than this. Everything's on fire. You take 25 damage at the beginning of combat, and then you get healed for 5 every time somebody dies. Garbage. Once again, D for delete. Please remove this, Blizzard. Do not make us have to suffer through this again. The games are faster. Thus, if you get bad shops or bad heroes to start, you die that much faster. You have no agency and you just get screwed. No, thank you. False idols. You only need 2 copies of a card to make it gold. Then instead of getting a triple, you get a gold coin. This one was very shop dependent because it's hard enough sometimes to find a triple. And if you find pairs, you're just left sitting there swinging in the wind, wishing you could get that triple. Well, now, if you don't even find the pair, but your opponent finds the pairs, you get wrecked that much faster. If they only need 2 banana slammers and they find 4, well, guess what? If they find any beasts that summon more beasts, you're probably dead at this point because that's a lot of stats getting thrown at the board. Is there a chance that you find it too? Yeah, but I just don't. This one I just never enjoyed. Maybe it's just me. I just never liked this one that much. Just kind of flat. Feline Fortune, everybody's Bigglesworth in addition to whatever they normally pick. So when someone dies, you get to discover from one of the minions that they had on their board. I felt like this one was fine. It's a B. It's exactly what anomalies need to be. I have one common complaint through anomalies, and that's the discover aspect of it. I really feel like we should always all discover the same thing when it's a global trigger like this, because it doesn't make sense that if someone dies and they have many good minions and you get offered all the good ones and I only get offered their cycle slot and 2 things that are kind of garbage, it doesn't feel good. I feel like discoveries should be global on anomalies like this. Finicky Hourglass, start at Tavern Tier 2. No. Why even have anomalies if this is as imaginative as we're gonna be? On week 1, okay, I'm fine with this on week 1. Come week 4, come week 10, 12, I'm so far past this one, and it's predictable that you'd get bored of this really fast. It's just not interesting. C is not offensively boring. It's just boring. Fortitude of Khazgoroth is where your rightmost minion and your leftmost minion will copy whichever one is the highest health to the other minion. Same thing, just boring. No, thank you. Just not interested. Gladiator's Spoils. I did not care for this one that much. This is where if you won, you get to discover a minion of your tavern tier, and if you lose, you discover, you don't even discover, you just get a random one from your tavern tier lower. No. This promotes winning more, a snowball effect. So you're winning, you get a better reward. Oh, I'm losing, I get a worse reward. Shouldn't this be reversed for balance? No, you should make it so the guy who's winning gets to win more. Congratulations. C. I almost want to put it to D because I feel like they really didn't think this one through, but maybe it was just my experiences, my couple bad experiences so shaping my feelings about it, but it's a C. How to even. Tavern tier 2, 4, and 6 only exist. Like this one, this is exactly the kind of thing Anomaly should be shooting for. Solid B. Grapnel of the Titans. First minion you buy every turn is free. I feel like this is once again exactly what Anomaly should be. Solid B. Not crazy, just good, different way to play the game. Not even exciting, just not bad either in any way. Little League. So Little League I actually liked a lot, and I know a lot of people did it, but I felt like Little League definitely promoted different styles of play and was interesting. I don't feel like it was quite as good as Big League because that just let you get to the good minions faster. Little League definitely tunneled you into a couple builds, so for that I'm gonna give it a B. This is like a good week 1 or week 2 Anomaly. Beyond that, it does get a little stale. It doesn't hold up forever, but if you only play this a few times, it is an interesting play, I think. Match fixing. Guess which player will win their next combat. If you're right, get 3 gold. Once again, this is just a standard hero power one. I think this is a solid B. I liked it. Blighted of Khazgoroth. Give your attack, whichever one's higher of your left and rightmost minion, copy it to the other one. Boring. Just don't care. Week 1, maybe, but even then it's like, almost feels like you're not trying with this one. I definitely could see where they might have thought this was a good start, and it probably was a good start, but we played so much of it. It was so blah. Compared to the other anomalies, it just wasn't even worth being in the game. I feel like it could have been like a week 1 warm up and then never see it again. That's why I put it at C, just boring. Mimiron's Clockwork Stadium. Now this is the one where you didn't have to tavern tier, it just did it automatically for you. I actually like this one a lot. I like APM style of play, and I feel like anytime I don't have to spend gold to tavern tier, it just happens. That gives me more gold to try doing the things I want to do, which is good. For me, this is an A. I liked this. I liked buying extra minions, kind of holding on to them, getting ready for those higher tavern tiers, and then just unloading when I had lots of money. I feel like this one was a lot of fun, and I know I performed pretty well, and I really enjoyed this. Money match. Everybody starts at 10 gold. Once again, just a different way to play the game. A good way to play the game, solid B. Wind shifting disc. I like this one. I think this is exactly what Anomaly should be again, solid B. It's nice and random. Everyone kind of gets the same level of random, and it's never horrifically broken, so I like that one. No face, no case. I like this one a lot. This is where you get a faceless manipulator. You get to copy a card, even if it's a gold card, even with all of its enchantments. I felt like this one was fun. Definitely promotes certain heroes over others, but I really enjoy this one. This is a solid A for me. I have nothing but good feelings about this one. No place like Holmes. You get to look at 2 cards and then say whether or not your opponent has that card. Obviously, this is a hero power one. This favors people with deck trackers, but overall, I think this is another good example of what Anomalies could be because it doesn't add too much complexity to the gameplay, but it makes it just different enough where it's fun. Solid B. Golganath's Tempest. And this is where minions cost 2 gold, and that refreshes the tavern. I actually really like this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. Once again, I like APM style, and when minions cost 2 gold and you can constantly refresh the shop, I felt like it promoted a lot of fun and a good time. To me, this is an S. And I know they removed this one for whatever reason, but I thought Golganath Tempest was one of the better ones, and I really personally enjoyed this one. I had nothing but good experiences with it. Opps All. Now I'm actually just gonna lump them all in here. Opps All. So I've played thousands of games. I think I got like 3 games total of Opps All, 2 demons and 1 beast, and they were in the week they came out, and then I just never saw it. Now I know later they got removed, but I played a lot of games when these were in, and I just never saw them. I always wanted to see Opps All Pirates to get a Captain Hogger, and I realized it's basically whoever got the Captain Hogger first probably won the game, or whoever got the most quickly. Obviously, they had the most APM, so they won, but I never got to play this one. I kind of was hoping like the last week, this one would be offered more, just so I could get Opps All Pirates a little bit, or like a choose your own adventure week where you get to select which queue you wanted to be in or something bizarre. Would be enjoyable. That's a good thought. Why don't we do that one? I'm gonna put Opps All though has a D. In concept, they were fun, but in execution, they were boring. It was just, hey, each tribe has 1 or 2 win conditions and a couple key minions to make those work. Whoever found those first dominated. Even with the extra copies, just didn't matter because you only needed to find a couple minions to win the game. Overseer Orb. This one, to me, wasn't that exciting, but it was a good, solid, different experience. I just didn't like that it kind of tunneled you typically into a build pretty early. It was the only reason I didn't care for it. That being said, it is a good, different way to play. I like it enough for that, so B. Pack Stands. The shop always had 7 minions. Once again, another good, different way to play the game. Solid B. And hey, why not more of it? Path of the Treasure Seeker. There's a lot of B's in this, folks. Solid, interesting way to play. I'm happy with it. Perfected Alchemy. Everybody gets a spell that turns a minion they want into a gold minion. Basically, whoever you are, you're that hero, and you have Reno's hero power to use once. Not bad. Interesting one to play. Once again, solid B. Prudence of Amitus. Now, this one was very divisive to me because it seemed like most people weren't playing it. I would go into Anomalies and maybe half the Anomaly would be playing it right. And by right, I mean saving gold. And the other half the shop wouldn't. They would just play normal. And I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm going, huh? And yeah, sometimes they would win, but more often than not, they would get destroyed. Like whoever saved gold for the first few turns would be the one who won ultimately because they just banked so much damn gold. Yeah, there'd be tiebreakers. Like if you found a tavern tipper, obviously you had a tempo advantage in addition to doing this. So you just wait till you had enough extra gold, then you'd slop this thing down as you're tiering up, automatically banking extra gold anyways, and be like, hey, look, also got stats growing. It was definitely a fun one in my book. I liked this one a lot, and I feel like a lot of people just didn't play it. The people who didn't play it typically just lost. Reckless Enhancement. So this is where minions in the tavern each would get what? Taunt, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, or Reborn every time. And yeah, there would be games where your Titus would get Taunt, but there'd also be games where turn 2 your Kaboom Bot got Reborn, which was fun also. I feel like this one was random enough completely where it justified itself. Solid B. Secrets of Norganon. This is where tier 7 minions exist. I feel like Blizzard kind of shot themselves in the foot with this one. So their idea was, we're going to make it where we've got these cool new minions, tier 7, and we want people to play them. So we're going to make this anomaly more common. And the problem with that for me was it was too common. I played an obscene amount of these games where I'm still constantly playing these games because they're still favored. They're not as favored as much, but they're still favored. I don't mind tier 7, but I don't love them either. And it was just, they were shoved down my throat way too much. They're not horrible, but they're not good either for me. I didn't like secrets because of the execution. If they were a normal anomaly, I'd probably be fine with them and they would be a B. But because they were forced into too many games for me, no interest. Shackles of the Primus. This is the one where at the beginning of every turn, your board disappears and you get triple the gold. Well, I had great results in this anomaly. I won almost all of these. I just went nuts and had a good time in all these for wins. But I never really super enjoyed the games that much. I mean, I think whenever pirates are in, I had more fun because I could just, hey, look, there's a Titus in the shop and I've got 33 gold. Let's go. It's like, oh, I've got that pirate that gives me extra gold and I've got more gold. Like there was so many ways to have fun with pirates. But the other tribes were just like, eh. And then they nerfed half the tribes that were in it. And it was just like, if you have to remove most of the cards in the game to make a anomaly viable, maybe that anomaly shouldn't exist. But that being said, I probably have like an 80% top 2 with this anomaly. I have to put it C. It's not bad, but it just didn't work for me. And I think most of my problem with it is they removed so many tribes where it just really limited what the gameplay was. Tavern Special. All tavern types are in the tavern. It always has 7 minions. This one was silly. It was fun. I didn't really have great time with it, but never had a bad time. I actually usually performed really well with this anomaly. But that being said, I think this is kind of where Anomaly should be. This is just another fun one that it's kind of a good standard. Temperance of Aman'Thul. This is where everybody starts at tier 4 and has 10 gold. I liked this one a lot. I actually really enjoyed this one, but it did have a downfall that if you got a bad shop the first couple turns, you really could get destroyed where you're like 12, 15 damage every turn for the first 2 or 3 turns, and that could end the game a little fast. Don't know how I actually feel about it in the long run because I never played it consistently enough. I always had good results with it, but the fact that I saw a lot of people die really fast makes me think that if I had died more faster in this one, I would be not as interested in this one. I'm gonna give it a B. My results were always good. I never heard anyone really complain about it. But the number of people I see die really early, turn 5 and 6, makes me think some people might really hate this one. The Golden Arena. All minions are golden. You don't get triple rewards. Why? Because if you played a card, it would give you a gold card from the next tavern tier, and you'd be instantly just infinite. You'd be like, playing card, playing card, playing card, playing card. I bought 1 minion. Now I can play cards forever. It's just silly, right? This anomaly for me, I always did really poorly in, and I don't know why. Just for some reason, giving me all the cards at their maximum power made my brain go, what? Timeout. Huh? I don't know. For some reason for me, I just never clicked. But once again, this is a good solid B1. This is just kind of where anomalies should be at. The keys to victory. After you play a minion, give your other minions +1/+1 for each keyword they share with it. I feel like this one came way too late in the anomalies. It's kind of boring. It's almost a non-existing anomaly. It doesn't do much, and I feel like it's kind of a subpar one and probably should not be put in the game. I feel like if they ever come back, I can leave this key out of the mix because I could live without it. Summoning of Champion. This would be where everyone at the beginning of the game would be offered 3 tier 6 minions, and they would be the same tier 6 minions. That's the important thing. The Discover was global. Everyone was offered the same options. I felt like this one was kind of balanced, kind of fun. There was potential for a lot of early damage depending on the type of minions you chose, but we were all offered the same thing. So if you choose poorly, that was kind of on you. I felt like this one was a really good one. I don't think it was phenomenal, but I think it's pretty damn high up there in my case. I have to give this one an A. The Yogg-isseum. I loved the Yogg-isseum. The Yogg-isseum was random, but it was random globally. Whatever it rolled, we all got it. Now, there was a lot of issues with bugs in this because they just couldn't seem to get it to work consistently for whatever reason. That being said, I actually adored this one, and I think this is one of my favorites. I like that level of random, but we all get the same thing, and I felt like the moment it would shuffle stats and destroy your board, it would do it to everybody else too, so it was just more enjoyable. Treasure Hoard. Now, there's a lot of different treasure hoards, but we're just going to go with a baseline of one where this is where on a certain turn, you would discover a gold minion of a certain tavern tier. Now, my issue with this one was that it was not a global discovery. So let's say it was tier 6 minions. If you're offered all great tier 6 minions for scaling, and I'm offered all crap, like I got an Uthers, well, hey, I got a 30-30, and I got a Zap, and I'm like, oh, I can kill some minions because he's got a lot of stats and some other garbage thing. You've got scaling, and I've got one big bump. I'm gonna do good for like 3 turns, and then you're gonna destroy me with your golden Tea Master or your golden Rock, and you're gonna go completely off. Well, I've got this one bump of power, and then you're running wild. I felt like it needed a global discovery once again. I know I'm a big advocate for this, but I feel like it's far more balanced than this randomness for everybody. But that's just my take. Because of that, I always enjoyed these games. I thought they were fun. So I'm gonna put it at B, but I'm curious what you think. Did you have fun with this, or was it more frustrating because you feel like your opponent was always discovering good stuff while you were not? Uncompensated Upset. This is where you start at 1 gold, minions cost 1, but sell for 0, upgrading the tavern costs 2 less. This one for me was a little too far. My reason for that is it was so foreign from how we usually play the game to sell minions, to get economy, to get more rolls, that making it sell for 0 was just not enjoyable to me. It was too much of a different game where I just didn't like the gameplay loop. It was too much work. It wasn't fun for me. So, I mean, and as I said, I like APM. Can't do APM if you sell minions for 0, even if they cost 1, because every refresh gets expensive quick. Yeah, if you get a brand and you get discovers, you're all set. But if you don't get any discovers, you're offered some garbage, you're gonna run out of money quick. I just didn't enjoy this one that much. So because of that, it's a C for me. I just didn't like Uncompensated Upset at all. Transient Treasures. This is where at the beginning of every turn, you discover from 2 different rewards from the quest meta, and you'd get their effect. I thought this one was good. It was fun. They were supposed to be balanced. I don't know how balanced they actually were, but a good alternative way to play the game, like that one. Prizing. After you upgrade the tavern, discover a Dark Moon Fair card. I felt like, once again, this was good, interesting gameplay, very different, and exactly the kind of thing I was looking for. Valuation Inflation. Tavern Tier 1 does not exist. Minions cost gold equal to their tavern tier. This one was interesting. It didn't really favor you to go up because the minions got more expensive, and it definitely favored heroes who discovered things. You could just get ridiculous value with Discover heroes that you couldn't get from other tempo heroes and whatnot. I felt like this one was a good idea. I just feel like the execution wasn't quite there, but it was removed very quickly after being added, so maybe I just didn't get enough experience with it, but I have to give it a C because of that. What are the odds? This is where Tavern Tier 1, 3, and 5 exist. I felt like this is just a good example of what the game should be. Just nice, different gameplay that promotes different loops. I think this is a solid B. And finally, Wisdom of Ulduar. This is where every 3 turns your rightmost minion got turned into, not plus, a 15-15. I didn't like it. This would have been a good week 1-1, and even then it would have been really boring, and I could live without it completely. Just kind of trash to me. D tier, no interest. Folks, that's how I rated the anomalies. What did you think? How would you have rated them? Did you think I was crazy with some of my ideas, or did you think they were just fine? They were kind of exactly what you think. I think a lot of anomalies, and this is our first time we get to really reflect on them, suffered from random discoveries. I feel like global discovery needs to be a thing if they want to bring back these anomalies, because it takes away a lot of the balance issues you get. Everyone just discovers the same thing. You don't have to worry about it. And you still get discoveries later that are going to be individual for your triples, for your different hero power things. So I feel like it won't homogenize the game too much. It will just make it so it's far more balanced and we're all having the same power spikes when it comes to global things like that, and not that I'm getting a golden, micro mummy and you're getting a golden rock. That kind of thing should never happen in the game. True, we then get to discover a minion because we got a random gold card, which, hey, that might help balance it out. Odds are it won't. I've still got a micro mummy. You've got a rock. It's just not a fair fight. Folks, tell me what you think in the comments below. Did you enjoy the anomalies? Did you hate the anomalies? Overall, was your experience pleasant, or was it just crap? Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time. I'll catch you next time. Until then, have a good one. Later.